Unfortunately, no, I do not believe that corporate leadership is adequately sensitized to the challenges and opportunities of achieving gender equality because we have not yet fully realized the results we could aim to achieve as a society. So no, we're not yet sensitized enough to change behavior beyond the tipping point, meaning that we are still working with or in the earlier adopter phase, so to speak. Early adopters, meaning those decision makers who sponsor the equally qualified female executives and stand by the decision to support her. To intend a cascading effect to occur, to ultimately cross the chasm and go beyond the tipping point. We still have more work to do. Yes, I believe that regulatory intervention can precipitate the move towards equality. So before my career in healthcare, I was an officer in the United States Army after graduating from the United States Military Academy at West Point. And interestingly enough, it required an act of Congress. A new law was passed to accept women in the all-male military academies. And so this was the forcing function to recruit, enroll, educate, and train female cadets alongside the male cadets. But we learned that this regulatory intervention, this forcing function, is only a start. And the leaders will ultimately need to do the real work to create a culture of change and acceptance of women in these male-dominated environments. Similarly, NASDAQ in December of last year filed a proposal with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, to adopt new listing rules related to board diversity and disclosure. This is quite interesting and just might be the forcing function to unlock many companies to bring on the board more female executives, to focus on the longer term profitability of companies and ultimately achieve greater success. Starting from my training as a cadet at West Point or when I was a commissioned officer in the United States Army, I always saw myself as a cadet or a soldier first, not as a female cadet or a female officer. My goal, you see, was to be the best leader in that position given to me. So focusing on my gender has never been the lens I personally saw the world, but that is how the world is forcing me to think because it is the lens or perspective of others. So in that regard, it's unfortunate we still have quite a bit of work to do in this area and make Women's Day a bigger deal. But the voices seem louder and louder each year as new research and stats are shared to show how much progress we have made during that time period. So I support International Women's Day and the sharing of stories, ad campaigns, and all kinds of messages, drilling the point that women are just as capable because a mindset shift does need to occur. And we are not done with this work until giving women an equal chance becomes so customary, acceptable, and mainstream. It is in the path of inevitability that more women will demonstrate the necessary skills to be in C-suite roles, holding board seats and CEO positions once given the opportunity. And frankly, I'm just not able to imagine my daughter, if equally qualified for a CEO role, to be turned down for the position solely because of her gender. So practically speaking, in every organization today, fingers will be pointed to who should ideally pull the trigger to make meaningful change happen in the arena of gender equality. But I encourage each and every one of us to chip away at this in whatever title or area of responsibility that you may have. So whether that might be to be a sponsor or a mentor, to be mindful of what unconscious biases you may harbor or observe in others around you, and prioritize on being more aware of what is being said and done on this topic of gender equality. So in closing, carpe diem, make an impact in your sphere of influence. Thank you so much for listening.